We already watched this. The most dumbest criminal. I ain't gonna lie. I'm interested in this. What these niggas was doing. Cause if they did some dumb shit, I'ma laugh at them. His name. What's his name? First of all, let's look this nigga up. Cause this is very interesting. No, not fucking Google Maps. Let's see. You said 4. Man, here you go. Fuck it.
Involving a murderer posting gruesome images of his victim to the website. It's a dark story among dozens of other disturbing crimes that have been shared anonymously to the board. But on 4chan, not all crimes are created equal. Some of 4chan's most infamous and compelling criminal stories aren't actually related to murder at all and are far less serious in nature. The case is becoming notorious simply due to the sheer idiocy of the criminals responsible. From a coupon counterfeiter admitting to defrauding companies for hundreds of thousands of dollars, to a thrill-seeking con man posting himself committing a bank robbery, to a college professor getting exposed for assaulting protesters with a bike lock, in today's video.
This is dumb. I'm done. Okay, bro. This video is ready to be funny as fuck, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This shit is ready to be funny.
I'd like to take a look at some of 4chan's most mind-bogglingly stupid lawbreakers, and also instances where members of 4chan banded together to bust dim-witted perps. These are 4chan's dumbest criminals. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Ground News for sponsoring lines from with being playing for you the super right, and let's look at line right the down a bit will have time there. You check out. There are a few crimes out there more romanticized in media than bank robberies. From TV shows to movies to books, the crime has been featured as the main source of conflict in many a fictional work. This of course leads to morons thinking that the real world works like a movie and they get ballsy enough to feel like they can pull off a bank robbery themselves without facing any consequence. And some are even dumb enough to live blog their robbery attempt on 4chan. On August 20th of 2015, an anonymous 4chan user creates a thread where they claim they would be giving updates about a bank robbery that they were about to commit. The thread begins with the individual describing what they would be wearing while the robbery occurred.
What the fuck? Wait, man. Hey, knock it off, man. This nigga said, alright, he said, okay, today is the day. I'm gonna walk into the bay 3 p.m. Bruh, he's self-snitching. Wearing sunglasses, a hat, a sweater, and a BB gun. The note. Dump the sweater to the BB gun. Wait, so you mean to tell me, hold up. You mean to tell me this dude he ain't gonna have a real gun, he gonna have a BB gun. Look, bro. Hold up. Let's look. BB gun. Ah! Look. This nigga gonna pull up a B. Ah, shit, bro. No way he pulling up a BB. Hold up, bro. I'm sorry. Ah, bro. That's how he's gonna pull up, bro. I'm sorry. I'm on his neck, bro.
Occurred, a hat, sunglasses, and a sweater. To further back up his robbery claim.
Bro, I'm laughing because ain't no way, bro, this nigga pulled up a BB gun. Give me the money, goof ass nigga. I'm dying, y'all, because this dude's really pulling up a BB gun.
Claims he stated that he'd be using a realistic-looking BB gun to pull off the heist, and that he would make his grand escape on a bicycle that he had purchased for the sole reason of robbing the bank. Okay, today is the day. I'm going to walk into the bank at 3 p.m. with sunglasses, a hat, a sweater, a BB gun, and this note. I'll get out dump p.m. with sunglasses, a hat, a sweater, a BB gun, and this note. I'll get out, dump the...
Bro, this nigga really self-snitch on himself, bro. I'm on my neck.
Sweater and BB gun and ride out on my bike back to the hotel. The robber then adds that he's getting a bit of a buzz on before his robbery attempt. I'm drinking a little bit of liquid courage before the heist. Fuck me, I'll probably be a nervous wreck when I get there. It's bad enough I have anxiety. Now, of course, the man was initially mocked by his peers, thinking him to be nothing more than an attention-seeking shitposter. Board members were able to discover that this individual was a resident of Jacksonville, Florida, due to him announcing his plan in a previous post days earlier. But not much else was known about this individual at the time. This individual's thread announcing his bank robbery plans would fall silent and the OP stopped responding, and most people sort of assumed that it indeed was a shitpost and this guy had pussied out. But sure enough, later in the day, the poster begins updating the thread, further fleshing out his robbery plans.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards. Yeah, we print that. But did you know we also print that and that?
In this post, he would reveal that the bicycle that he had planned to use as his getaway had been stolen. So apparently he was either about to go rob the bank and the bike was gone, or he had just finished robbing the bank and the bike was gone. I'm not exactly sure here, but one thing is for certain, that being that he actually successfully pulled off the robbery. Because check out this next post. The anonymous poster says, "Easy as fuck," and attached were dozens of $100 bills. He adds, "Here's another picture in a neat little pile for you." He says, "Dude, I walked up to the teller with my sunglasses and hat. I gave her the note. She said no problem. Typed some shit on the computer.
Nigga, look. This nigga, look, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Look, this is... Hold up. Ow, bro. No. Stop. That's what my nigga needs, bro. That's what my nigga needs, bro. Stop self-snitching. Bruh, the dog needs to... Dog, bruh. My dog need to... He need this hat real quick. You need to wear it one time, bruh. Stop self-snitching, bruh.
Gave me the money and I walked out the door. Then the exit wouldn't open, so I slammed it, then it opened, I got rid of my sweater and walked to the hotel. Aside from his bicycle getting stolen, the bank robbery was a complete success and the man had profited presumably thousands of dollars off of this. But this man wouldn't be on a dumbest criminals of 4chan list if he didn't get caught, because law enforcement was hot on his heels. And a main reason they were able to track him down was simply due to the incriminating evidence that he was posting to 4chan on his own accord. Our perpetrator would start feeling the heat when he noticed that CCTV footage of himself robbing the bank was being discussed on local news. This would prompt the individual to freak out and make an additional post in the 4chan thread, trying to come up with potential solutions as to not get caught. One of these solutions included buying a motorcycle off of Craigslist using his stolen money and making a quick escape out of town. He would also go on to add that he had completely lost the bag that had his cell phone inside, meaning that he was without any form of mobile device. But his plans of escape wouldn't come to fruition, as eventually this bank robber would be tracked down in a neighboring county. It turns out that this dim-witted degenerate was a 26-year-old man named Pedro Francisco Smith. After being identified, Smith was subsequently arrested for the crime and was jailed for armed robbery charges, according to Florida state records. The crime carries a minimum sentence requirement of 10 years in the state. You gotta ask yourself, is being the cool guy on 4chan for a day worth potentially 10 years in prison? I don't think so, dude. Pedro Smith was a real dumbass through and through. Hell, it's a miracle he was able to pull off the heist considering his incompetence with getting his bike stolen and just like the fact that he's live posting this to 4chan. Really not a bright
Cause you know the feds, all they gotta do is, oh really?
guy here. But regardless, easily one of the most mind-bogglingly stupid perps on the list, that was the 4chan bank robbery.
What the fuck?
Animal cruelty is one of the few things that the collective internet agrees is utterly reprehensible. And many individuals have been mobbed and harassed for perpetrating the act over the years, which is exactly what would happen to a British woman in 2010 named Mary Bale. The story takes place in August of 2010 in the British city of Coventry. In August of this year, a 45-year-old British woman by the name of Mary Bale was walking along the street near her apartment when she stumbled across a kitten named Lola perched up next to a trash bin. In CCTV footage that was later uploaded to YouTube by the cat's owners, Mary Bale can be seen grabbing the cat by the collar and throwing the cat into a plastic waste receptacle nearby, trapping the startled feline inside. The cat was reportedly trapped inside this waste bin for 15 hours. Fortunately, Lola's owners would eventually discover what had happened and they would free the cat before Waste Management hauled her off to a certain doom. Lola would eventually make a full recovery from the bin tossing, but news of the cat's good health wouldn't quell the online outrage that was forming regarding the tosser herself. This seemingly random act of animal cruelty sparked a massive amount of outrage in the online community. 4chan in particular took major issue with the event and made it their goal to identify this person, track them down, and make them face justice. Cross-referencing the CCTV footage with Google Map images of the Coventry area, individuals were eventually able to discover the home address of the perpetrator. Soon after, they would discover the woman's name was Mary Bale, and they would keep digging. They found the woman's Facebook account and the name of her employer. They then discovered not only her phone number, but the phone numbers of her immediate family members and co-workers.
How stupid is the? Oh my god, bro. This is funny, bro. How the feds, bro, found your Facebook, your employer, and the people you're talking to? How dumb.
4chan users would then begin making prank calls and sending death threats to all of them en masse, resulting in Mary Bale going into hiding, hoping that the wave of harassment she was receiving would eventually go away. But Mary Bale couldn't stay hidden for long because eventually the more conventional media outlets would pick up on the story. Bale began being mobbed by reporters and had to be escorted by police whenever she went out in public. Initially, the woman would deny any wrongdoing whatsoever, telling a local newspaper in an interview that it was, quote, just a cat, and that she didn't see what all the fuss was about. Statements like this would only throw more fuel to the fire and pressure would mount, eventually getting the woman to admit that she had made a mistake. In the wake of the outrage, Mary Bale would issue a public apology stating, quote, I cannot explain why I did this. It is completely out of character and I certainly did not intend to cause any distress to Lola or her owners. Despite her eventual apologetic disposition, Mary Bale would be facing a criminal charge as a result of her action. In October of 2010, Bale would reportedly plead guilty to 1 count of animal cruelty. She was compelled to pay over £1,400 in compensation to Lola's owner and the courts collectively, and was forbidden from owning pets for a period of 5 years. But in all honesty, legal consequence was the least of Mary Bale's problems. The negative online backlash caused by Lola's tossing had essentially ruined her life. Her name was relentlessly mocked and derided online. There were entire Facebook groups dedicated to the slander and harassment of Mary Bale. Parody Twitter accounts imitated her likeness and tweeted various obscenities in her name. And YouTube channels created satirical recreations of the incident that went massively viral. The sheer amount of vitriol made life for Mary Bale a living hell.
You in position yet?
Working on it.
What's taking so long? I thought you knew this place.
Don't rush me.
The whole ordeal reportedly sending the woman into a deep depression. With over a decade now separating us from the cat-tossing incident, it has largely been forgotten about in the public discourse. But in the internet history books, it will remain as one of the most significant 4chan-led vigilante justice campaigns to ever occur.
This nigga look ugly. This nigga goofy as fuck.
Next up, the 4chan coupon scammer. There's some folks out there that take couponing to